Hello everybody, here's your latest update on the weather. Pretty sure last time we talked about the ongoing tornado outbreak in the southern Midwest, northwestern Texas, and the Texas Panhandle, as well as the Oklahoma Panhandle. Really in western Oklahoma and northwestern Texas, we got that most severe weather. That really tracked south along with Winter Storm Zelia. That was really set up in the Four Corners region and brought just dumped feet of snow in southeastern Wyoming, north central Colorado, especially western Nebraska, more than I actually expected in the Nebraska Panhandle there. Yeah, they even got feet of snow there as well. Also, then it tracked east, really in northern Iowa, much of southern Minnesota, and then they got dumped of snow as well. I know cars were buried in the snow, especially in Wyoming. I remember they got a good 4 feet of snow. It was hard for people to even get out of their houses. I've seen some images come in where they opened up the doors and they couldn't get out because snow was just completely covering the walkway out. So big snow event that's finally moving off the coast now. We really dumped snow across the Great Lakes region, even into the Ohio Valley, but now it's finally moving off the coast. But now seeing even more severe weather set up. It's not even a part of Winter Storm Zelia here in the deep south and southern plains here in Dixie Alley. That's what it's really known as. Right now it's really set up here in Texas, Oklahoma. That's where it's going to be set up tonight and into tomorrow. But then later tomorrow we'll see the severe weather set up here in the southern plains in the Alabama, Mississippi region. You can see today this is where the severe weather is going to be set up. Here in Oklahoma and Texas shouldn't really be. The risk should be more so low. These storms will be. We'll see another line beginning to form, especially when we get into tomorrow. Look at this risk. You can see it's very severe here. I'll get to that later. So the storms that we're seeing today will only ramp up throughout the day, especially into the night. The tornado warning storms that we will see tomorrow will be in these areas that are seeing the storms now. This makes the communication and social science really even more difficult. Cities like Atlanta right now are already on the other side of this front. We're finally going to be seeing this rain move in. But this front will eventually lift off, and then late into today, possibly tonight, Atlanta will get a chance for some more active weather. Little Rock will see this weather much earlier come tomorrow because they're much farther west. So as you can see here, the temperatures are high and it feels very humid. Dew points are very high as well. But unfortunately, the atmosphere will only deliver this on Wednesday. It'll really pick up all this moisture here. I think here the threat for severe weather and tornadoes will really just cover the bulk of the southeast. So there will be a widespread line of severe thunderstorms. Widespread severe thunderstorm warnings that will be in place due to these gusty straight line winds that will come along in the front of this line of thunderstorms. So there's a big threat for straight line winds embedded within this storm, as well as some rotating winds, otherwise known as tornado warnings, that'll be active. So conditions are certainly favorable for these tornado warnings. Really just completely covering north central Mississippi, much of Alabama, southeastern Arkansas, even northeastern Louisiana. Even some of Tennessee sneaking in there, especially Memphis, Tennessee. It'll get some severe thunderstorms. But the main risk for tornadoes will be right here in central Dixie Alley. So we're actually very confident with this forecast, given we know that the front will be there, as it's already moving through the center of the country. This available convective energy will certainly be high enough to run the risk of tornadoes, especially with this rotating wind that's coming off the Gulf here, bringing in all that moisture. See here all the winds coming right off the Gulf here, really be making conditions right, especially when this front begins to move in. So these winds that we're seeing at the surface will bring up most of that moisture from the Gulf. It'll really just almost be due south. But then we see these winds about 5,000 feet into the atmosphere. They'll mainly be moving southwest. So this spin, or turn you can call it, is what's going to get these storms rotating and allow for tornadoes to happen. Especially on Wednesday, we see this difference in wind that's coming right off the coast that'll be interfering with this line of storms. So lots of rotation in the clouds. Sure, we'll see many tornado warnings as well as severe thunderstorm warnings. See, it's very humid here into the 60s and 70s percentages. So conditions are certainly favorable. You can see here on the tornado parameter. Right now, conditions for tornadoes are mostly set up in the southern Midwest here, into Texas and Oklahoma. Although this will get a lot worse as we move into tomorrow. We'll see this move more east, right up through here, into southern Louisiana, into much of Mississippi. Really, it'll just be completely engulfing Alabama along Mississippi. This will mainly be tomorrow. So first, tonight we're expecting severe weather to ramp up across the plains along the dry line from, we have this dry line from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, even down towards Dallas. This severe weather threat will last through the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. we will have Toy-Cons of 2 and 3. You can really see it visible here on day 2. I've always just found it incredible that even through today, we're looking at mid-Georgia back into Texas. Tomorrow's severe weather will make today's weather look like nothing. Tomorrow, the tornado risk is much higher. We will have Toy-Cons of 7, more in that red color here. That will be our Toy-Con of 7. That's what will be set up. Cities like Little Rock is included in this threat. Some of the cities in this path look okay now, but this is likely to be totally different, a totally different scene tomorrow. Let's just say you avoid the tornadoes. We're still looking at an extensive hail potential tonight and into tomorrow, as well as widespread gusty straight line winds that could give damage similar to a tornado. So the bottom line is that it'll be a very messy weather setup from tonight and into tomorrow. You need to stay weather active and know what's coming your way. New Orleans really has a 3 out of 10 chance here in the darker orange. Mobile has a 3 as well here in Alabama. All places like Huntsville, Alabama will be more in this red or darker orange, and it'll jump up to a 5. A Toy-Con of 5. And so again, our greatest risk is between the places between New Orleans and Huntsville, Alabama. So Montgomery, Birmingham, Jackson, and Memphis, and Little Rock, all have the greatest chance for tornadoes at a Toy-Con of 7. So these will be 7 out of 10, so really 70% chance. These will be large-scale tornadoes that can last for a while. There will be plenty of available convective energy, as you can see here with this moisture. I'll go ahead and get it back here. So you can see there'll be a lot of moisture here, especially along the Gulf here, along the coast of the Gulf. Yeah, going to have plenty of convective energy that will usher in northwards into this line of thunderstorms, which will cause much rotation, especially when you have upper level winds that are interfering with the lower level winds, heading almost 2 different directions really. So that'll be an interesting setup. We also have lots of moisture that'll be funneled into this from the Gulf due to the southerly wind at the surface, while again upper levels will be more focusing on going southwest. Although we will likely have a big chance in wind direction with height coming in from the southwest. So I'll give you guys an example here. Memphis has a southwest flow from the surface at around 10 miles an hour, while we have a southwest close to 50 miles an hour at 5,000 feet into the atmosphere. Here's Memphis right here. That'll be in the Toy-Con of really included in the Toy-Con of 5 to 7. That's just the low levels of the environment, aka where a tornado would most likely be. So the lowest level of rotation is absolutely crucial for this line of upcoming storms. Unfortunately, we'll see a lot of this, a lot of spin for these storms to ingest. Here's a European model, really displaying the same setup as we have on the GFS model with this line of storms that'll move in. Backtrack a little bit here to earlier Wednesday. See, we're going to move in through Texas here. So really we just have this ensemble of models that are consistent in saying that we're going to have a widespread supercell thunderstorm development by 4 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. It's also consistent in saying that this line of storms that are approaching will not only have portions of very strong winds in it, but we can also see embedded circulations. Both storms will have, I'd really say that both storms will have high moisture contents. I think you see here, very humid and a lot of moisture mixing in here. I mean, we have temperatures in the 70s and 80s in this area, so really setting up for the severe weather moving in tomorrow. So as far as timing goes, this is about early Wednesday morning. See it moving in through Texas, really getting ready to move through here into the south, in the Dixie Alley. Really see it beginning to move in. It's right on through here in Louisiana and Arkansas. Move even more later into Wednesday afternoon. Really Wednesday night and then Thursday mornings when this we're going to see most of the severe weather settle up. Here it is, finally moving in. This is where the greatest tornado risk is going to be. Most of Mississippi, Alabama, even Louisiana, even southeastern Arkansas. These storms are finally going to be moving in. Finally funneling in some of this rotation in the clouds straight up from the Gulf, bringing a lot of that moisture in from different wind directions in the atmosphere. Really just making a lot of instability and having enough wind shear up there that have a good chance of rotating some of these clouds and creating some circulation. Getting into the later Wednesday night, even in the Thursday morning here, so overnight hours, still seeing a lot of severe weather here. Storms rolling in, especially through Georgia, northern Georgia, in the Atlanta area. Again, this is going to be later in the day. In the evening hours, overnight, we're going to see it moving to the southeast into Georgia, even northern Florida, even eastern Tennessee. It's first going to move into Mississippi and Alabama, even the Mississippi River Valley. It's going to affect the western deep south first before it moves into the southeast. This is around Thursday morning, getting into lunchtime on Thursday. So load here. We see it move into the Carolinas. So on Thursday, it'll finally be the East Coast turn. From the Carolinas to Georgia and even North Florida, you have your chance for severe weather. So our area of low pressure will lag back, which is why the biggest chance for severe weather will be further north. Along this cold front, we have the more likelihood of organized severe weather. This is where it will be across the south. As this front approaches, it'll be moving into a column of unstable air mass with more than enough energy to support severe thunderstorms. I'm sure we have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, possibly even some tornado watches and maybe even warnings. Again, we'll still have this rotation with this line moving up the coast here, especially with the cold front combining with all of this warm air and humid air they're experiencing. So they'll really just clash in, create this updraft, especially the farther east you go into the coastal Carolinas. You'll also see a very different wind direction with height. Same thing we're really seeing here around the Gulf, especially for coastal portions of the Carolinas. Go ahead and pull that up. But first, you can see here that really east coast across the I-95 corridor, especially coastal areas of the Carolinas, will see this more severe weather threat in the orange here. So this is where those more low-level winds will be at in the south. But these mid-level winds here, about 5,000 feet into the atmosphere, will trend more southwest here. Really trend more southwest. So we have very strong winds aloft for everybody in these states here, creating a good chance for some more severe weather, as well as some tornado potential. That's very likely. So even if you avoid the tornado chances, we'll still see these straight line wind issues with thunderstorms that will occur on Thursday. The potential for rotation in the storms will be maximized across the eastern portions of the Carolinas. First thing Thursday morning, that line of storms will move right in through Atlanta, Panama City. That front by lunchtime will be approaching Charlotte in the late evening hours, especially to the north where we'll have ingredients all come together. This is about early Thursday morning, moving into lunchtime. You can see it finally beginning to move in here through the southeast. It's going to be affecting Georgia first, then northern Florida, as you can see the way this line is shaped. So we're going to be dipping more into the Gulf here, more western. Get later in the Thursday, finally see it moving more east. It'll first be affecting places like Tennessee. I think it's closer to the low center of low pressure here, about 997 millibars. Be affecting western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, still be in Alabama, lingering around there. But as we move more into Thursday, we see a clash with these upper level winds. Very strong winds aloft we have here, moving through South Carolina, northern Florida, even eastern North Carolina. Before you know it, really by later in Thursday, it'll be in the eastern coastal Carolinas, where we'll see conditions more likely for some severe weather. It's around Thursday evening here. You see it really set up here. This line of thunderstorms is going to be rolling in. We also see some rain finally moving on Thursday on the northern side of this center of low pressure. We're really just seeing one after another. This is still part of Winter Storm Zelia. It's finally going to be moving out this upper low pressure system. So we're seeing one upper low pressure system after another at this point, bringing lots of severe weather to the south, especially southern Midwest into the Dixie Alley. But hey, it is that time of year. It is March, so you need to stay prepared for these tornadoes and active severe weather storms that are just going to be coming in through your area just one after another. So this is actually by Friday. It'll finally move off into the Atlantic Ocean. See this line finally beginning to move out along with the low pressure. We're looking at some more clear conditions after this, especially for the the Midwest, even into the Rockies. We really need some of the sun to just especially melt some of the snow here in the Rockies and Colorado. They saw feet of snow over the weekend, especially Saturday and Sunday. Then it of course moved east into the Great Lakes region in the northern plains, bringing a lot of snow to southern Minnesota there. So we're looking at more favorable conditions, especially for spring. Finally see a big warm up. But first we have to get through this on Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a pretty big event here, especially for the Dixie Alley and the Southeast here. That's all you really need to know what's coming up for the next few days, along with the snow in the north. We'll mainly be seeing more snow in the north and the New England area. Maybe another snowstorm they're going to be getting there. That's going to be later this week. As you can see, it's starting to develop here with this low pressure system. It's going to be bringing a lot of severe weather to the south. Maybe bring some more snow to the New England area. So what's really important right now is to just be aware here of we can look at the tornado barometer here. See a lot of severe weather first set up in the Dixie Alley region, and then track more southeast as we get into Thursday. See it set up here all across South Carolina, North Carolina, especially coastal Carolinas, where we'll be seeing the same flow, the same difference in winds coming off the shore here. Seeing these different flows come off Atlantic Ocean, same way we're seeing different wind flows coming off the Gulf here. So These difference in the winds higher up in the upper levels of the atmosphere will be clashing with the surface winds, creating a big event here. So hope you guys enjoyed this update. We'll be seeing some more severe weather in the south as well as the southeast. Just stay ready if you are in these areas. Just be ready to face some of these storms. You may be getting some tornado warnings, especially here in the Alabama, Mississippi region. We see that the Storm Prediction Center is predicting that severe weather will be much, much worse on Wednesday than it will be today in the Midwest, and even more severe than on Thursday when it will be in the Southeast. So if you live in these areas in northern Mississippi, really most of all Mississippi, especially northwestern Alabama, southeastern Arkansas, northeastern Louisiana, just be ready because you're actually in the toy count of 7 here. So you have a very high chance of a tornado warning, especially tornadoes that will be on the ground. Are very imminent ones. Be sure to check the weather frequently as well as for any warnings. Sorry guys, I already know about the weather right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.